Okay, so we are back. And we left off where is promiscuity shamelessly. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit so you can kind of see this. It's awful because I'm doing this. I have a double monitor, and it's just really hard because I'm new to this, so this is definitely one of my first videos. Anyhow, so we get to the point where it says, is promiscuity shamelessly pushed upon our society? And as you look at these stories, we all know that this is true. I mean, whether it's true or not, well, we've got the answers held here right in front of our face. It goes on. I mean, just the amount of shamelessly telling us. And then we get to this. Here it is. You see this right here? Can parasites be sexually transmitted? There's a link. So we're clicking it. You guys, look. Here we go. Parasitic STD list. Okay? It says intestinal parasites are microscopic one-cell animals called protozoa. We've all heard of this in school. They infect the intestines. Intestinal parasites are often transmitted by contaminated food and water and during non-sexual intimate contact. They may also be transmitted sexually. Intestinal parasites, symptoms and treatment, it's telling you on here. Public lice are small six-legged creatures that infect the pubic hair and lay eggs. Infestation is mostly found in teenagers and usually spreads during sexual activity. Scabies is an easily spread skin disease caused by a very small species of mite. Scabies is spread by skin-to-skin contact with another person who has scabies. Trichomoniasis is a sexually, and I might have said it wrong because I'm going so quickly through this, is a sexually transmitted infection, or an STI, caused by the parasite Trichomonas vaginalitis. Whatever, you guys. I can't have said it wrong. Okay, so anyhow, transmission includes penis to vagina intercourse or vulva to vulva contact. The parasite cannot survive in the mouth or rectum. Okay, so pictures of vaginitis, we don't want to look at that. Maybe some of you do. Some sexually transmitted infections can also cause vaginitis, as can various chemicals found in bubble bath soaps and perfumes. Environmental factors such as poor hygiene and allergens may also contribute to that. But we're going to go back to the parasite paper. So can parasites be sexually transmitted? It looks like it could be. Would increased sexual promiscuity result in an increase in infected hosts? One would think. Historically, what was the purpose of "you may now kiss the bride"? Okay, think about that. They used to do blood tests before you could even be married back in the day. And there's a reason. Viruses that can be transmitted by kissing. Of course, we all know colds, glandular fever, herpes infections, hepatitis B, and warts. What is the connection between parasites and viruses? Why are we unable to directly detect viruses? Because maybe, well, I have my theories, but we'll go on. Why can viruses only be detected from specimens extracted from a host? Okay, so we know that here's that antibody test that they talked about. The antibody is attached to a cell infected by the virus and cause the virus to be destroyed. This test looks for antibodies to a specific viral infection, but they were telling us that the antibody test during all of this, was able to diagnose something that didn't even exist, but now and then we get on with this. There's viral cultures, viral DNA, or DNA and RNA detection tests. Okay, so what are exosomes? Well, we're going to go click over here. This is on the other side of the page that you can't see, but we're going to click the exosomes. Okay, the file you requested was dead for too long. Oh, they don't want me to see it, see? That's when you know something. Okay, why hide exosome theory? Do viruses cause disease or do parasites cause exosomes? What was the real purpose of You May Now Kiss the Bride? What is the purpose of vaccines? Are excipients placed into vaccines? Are certain excipients placed into vaccines for the purpose of systematically targeting and temporarily focusing the immune system on the antigens to invoke a stronger immune response, which helps to ensure the development of antibodies? What are adjuvants? I'm giving you this. You have to do what I've done. I am a researcher by nature. I went to college. I learned by being a victim of domestic violence for quite a few years. I became my own hero and went to college and became a paralegal so that I could then learn to defend my case, since I realized that there wasn't a prosecutor in the world who could ever defend what I'd been through except for me. So I'm really about the due diligence. Okay, so what is reactogenicity? I can't even say it. Reactogenicity. It's really horrible right now. I'm stumbling so bad. Okay, so what we have to do is we are asking a lot of questions so that it makes the wheels turn in your head. Because a lot of times, I can give you information, but there's no questions to make you ponder or to cause you to be moved to discover this for yourself. Because me giving this to you is not near as important as you discovering it for yourself. It's empowering when you do that. And when you become empowered, then you can empower someone else. So I'm giving you a tool, and I'm asking each person to individually do what they can to look into this, because I have myself been treating a parasitic infection that actually was in my brain. Okay? I can't even begin to tell you. I knew because I was seeing floaters. Floaters, when I would blink my eyes, I would see these, it looked like a worm. For all intents and purposes, it looked like the worm, or the cells looks like a worm. And I would see it, but it was like a shadow in my eye, and then it would dissipate and draw down, and I thought, what is that? And I always thought it looked like a worm. Sometimes I could see it looked like cells, just like the cells you saw. I could see it in my own eye, and I thought, what is that? But it would disappear, and it would only happen in certain times. And, I knew this my whole life, but I couldn't figure out what that meant. Because I saw them, and I saw they would look like worms, and I had talked to other people about it. They said, you're crazy, you're crazy. Well, if it wasn't for me coming upon all this information, and the only person I really, really, really want to commend for helping so many people is Donald Trump. I'm sorry if I upset anyone, but that man was put here to make us all open our eyes. And for him not, if it wasn't for him, I probably would be dead. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. I can't help anyone who isn't willing to just listen and understand that we all are in this together and we can save each other. So I'm going to move on with this. Could this cause a rapid increase in parasitic infections? Okay. Diseases declined 90% before vaccines were introduced due to sanitation and clean water systems. Gosh darn it. let's turn a little bit so we can see this chart really good. Okay, so, you know, we have to understand that, you know, there's things, we're living in a world where we're not loved by the powers that be. We have to love ourselves enough and do the work and the research to figure out what's really going on. And then when we figure it out, like myself, or think we have anyways, we share what information we have to save other people's lives. I'm really trying to save lives. Okay. We already know if clean water is so Lord the devil trying to stop me from speaking. If clean water is so effective at preventing disease, then reconcile the following: the amount of money spent on water treatment facilities, amount of money spent on developing patentable vaccines. Why? We all know about Flint. When the Flint water crisis happened, you know, they didn't even care. They knew about it. The elite knew about it. They didn't care. And they allowed all those people to get so desperately sick. This is what I would see. This is what I'm telling you about the eye floaters, okay? You see this? And I know that there's probably people out here who've had this. You see this looking worm? I'm going to take my pointer and I'm going over it, okay? I would blink my eye, okay? And I could see it. Like, it was like float across my path of vision. Sometimes these little circles, and I would see them clearly. It was like, I have a worm in my eye. But then I would say, it's gone, so it's not there. But every now and again, when I would blink or whatever, I would see it. This is how and I knew this as a kid. And I'd tell my mom I have worms, and she would say, you know, that, like, no, that's an illusion. You just think you do. My sisters are also in nursing and stuff, and they all were told, oh, it's just a floater. It's no big deal. And it really is a big deal. I've been I was a nurse aide for 15 years. And, you know, of course, I was taking care of elderly people, and a lot of them didn't have the capability of even saying anything. So, So I kind of knew about this stuff, and we'll move on. So we know that they are doing this in the air. It says, do these aluminum, okay, it says is aluminum sprayed over major metropolitans. We all know about global warming. If you haven't noticed, I mean, I'm 55 years old. I've looked at clouds my whole life, and these smeared things that are in the sky that turn into rainbows, that is chemicals being sprayed in the air, and we have to know that at some point we're going to breathe it in. And it says, are aluminum adjuvants placed into vaccines, or it can be injected directly into the body? Yes. Are dormant parasites activated by the presence of heavy metals in the host body? And the truth is yes, they are. There are detox baths to help. There is a whole, we'll get there. Parasites are attracting increasing interest from parasite ecologists, okay? So they're talking about this. Everybody knows. What is the real reason for putting aluminum into our bodies? Well, we'll see. Let's just see it gets worse. What is toxoplasmosis? Hopefully this link is working. Here we go. How a common cat parasite gets into the human brain and influences human behavior. You know, you've heard of the story of the cat ladies. Okay? That's real stuff. And toxoplasm is a common cat parasite. It has previously been in the spotlight owing to its observed effect on risk-taking and other human behaviors. To some extent, it has also been associated with mental illness. Okay? A study led by researchers in Sweden now demonstrates for the first time how the parasites enter the brain to influence its host. So that means do you understand what that is saying? So all these people who've been diagnosed, okay, I'm going to read this. It says right here, you can see where my pointer is in this paragraph. And of course you can't see the whole thing because I can't, let me see if I can turn it sort of. It's so far away. So you just have to trust me. I'm reading it for you verbatim. A number of studies have been presented in recent years showing that toxoplasmosis parasite affects its host even during the dormant phase. It has, for example, already been observed that rats become unafraid of cats and even attracted by their scent, which makes them easy prey. So rats are attacking the cats because the parasite comes in and attaches to the rat brain, and the rat brain is then taken over. So when I tell you, people may be acting counterintuitive to the way you think that they should, and the reason may be parasites, plain simply. Okay, I can give you lots of stuff, but we're gonna continue with this. Okay, so this has been interpreted as the parasite assuring its survival propagation, since the consumed rat then infects the cats, which, though its faces can infect the food that the other rats might then proceed to eat. A number of studies also confirm that mental diseases like schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety syndrome are more common in people with toxoplasmosis, while others suggest that toxoplasmosis can influence how extroverted, aggressive, or risk-inclined an individual's behavior is. So, GABA is a signal substance that, amongst other effects, inhibits the sensation of fear and anxiety. Okay, so they are trying, this is so hard to explain to you all. There are medicines that they've used on the GABA, like gabapentin. It is no good for the body. We will get on. GABA is a signal substance that, amongst other effects, inhibits the sensation of fear and anxiety. Disturbances of the GABA system are seen in people with depression, schizophrenia, bipolar diseases, anxiety syndrome, and other mental diseases. So, this parasite, due to toxoplasmosis, lead to other symptoms like a vitamin C deficiency. Lord, I can't read. Yes, it causes schizophrenia. Do parasites cause symptoms of depression and schizophrenia? Yes. Vitamin C, weakened immune system, increased parasite infection, and then you get depression and other psychiatric illnesses. We cannot stop the fact that we are at high risk for these parasites, but there are things we can do to stop them. Our children are at risk. Our animals, our pets at home have them as well. Maybe that's why they're not acting so good themselves. And if you aren't treating your pets and yourself for parasites, I highly recommend that you do. I have been doing it for over 2 months. I've lost nearly 100 pounds in body fat. I have learned, and my skin was horrible. I have pictures of all this stuff. I was on only one pill. I had to get off of it. It was strange, but the Lord works in mysterious ways. He told me, my doctor called me and said, we aren't going to give you your medicine anymore unless you come and do more blood work. And I said, why would I have to do that? It was a big drawn out thing. They wanted me to have blood work more than once in a period of time that they told me I only needed it once a year. And I said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And they said, you're not? I said, no. They said, well, we're not giving you your medicine. I said, oh, well, you told me if I don't have my medicine, I'll die. And they said, yeah. I said, oh, so in other words, you're holding a gun to my head telling me I have to go and get blood drawn or I can't have my medicine and I'm going to die. I said, well, I got news for you. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to prove you that I can live without that medicine and that you were actually trying to kill me. And you know what? I was on for a thyroid disorder. And I will tell you, anyone who's been on a thyroid medication can tell you, it will make your hair fall out. It will turn your skin bad. It will make you sicker and sicker. You'll be tired and more tired. And before you know it, you can't lose weight at all, no matter what you do. You will never lose a pound. And as long as you stay on that medication, that's going to happen. What you have is you're loaded with parasites. And when you begin to cleanse, it takes a while. I was off my medication, thought I would die within the first 30 days. Like I said, I've been at it for some months now. And it saved my life. And I'm trying to save others. And I pray for everyone. And this is part 2. We'll move on to part 3. I have to take a break. Thanks.